Last year, I saw so many black women try to solve a problem in dating by starting to host events in person, trying to create third spaces to facilitate dating like offline. And you know what would happen every single time? The men were not signing up. They would be selling tickets to speed dating, and they would always end up with men's tickets on sale. Always, because they weren't buying any. Just the other day, a big account that I follow for black creatives did like this cute Cupid thing where they were like, hey, send us a profile about yourself and we would love to post it and like play matchmaker. Sounds like a cute idea, right? Not one single man sent their profile in. And mind you, this is an account that has well over 100,000 followers. It's just time to stop. It's time to stop. They have made it very loud and clear that they do not want to try. They don't want to approach. No matter how you curate different activities to get them interested, they're not. And I'm not saying that men who seriously want to date don't exist, but I think on a large scale in major cities, the dating events, all these creative ways that we're trying to get them interested, they're not there. I don't think that these men are tapped into social media. I really don't. I think that they are locked in on their hobbies and in communities that matter to them.
100% disagree with her at the end. Men aren't really interested in dating. That's why that's why that happens. That's why it's hard for people who do those like single mingle events and shit like that. It's hard for them to, to get men to come because those are more for serious situations, and most men are not interested in serious situations. That's why most men would rather meet a woman online and play the online game, right? Because um once upon a time, like if you ever watched the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin, like speed dating, that was like, before the advent of social media or before the advent of uh uh these apps or these dating apps or whatever. That was probably a place where men would go to meet a woman and get access to a lot of women in a short period of time, right? But what you're describing, what she's describing, the speed date, it's not really speed dating. Speed dating is online. That's real speed dating. Doing speed dating in person is like going to play poker in person. And then going online is like playing poker online. You literally play double the amount of hands. You play 30 hands in an hour when you are playing in real life, and you play 60 hands an hour online. So the odds are just go through the roof. It's a numbers game, which I've been saying that a million times, a bunch of times about men. It is simply a numbers game. Men are not interested in getting to know women. Men aren't interested in actually building with women. We aren't interested in long-term healthy relationships. We just want to sleep with as many women as we possibly can, right?
I'm a news reporter. As a journalist, I was down at the courthouse the other day for something completely unrelated, and I overheard this man talking with a lawyer about lowering his child support. The lawyer was like, oh, if you want to lower your child support, like, let's see if we can get the judge to agree to you taking on more time with the kids. This man said, never mind. Like, he was like, never mind. And the lawyer was like, oh, well, we can work on working with you so that you can have less communication. I know it's hard between you and your baby mama. And he was like, nah, like, it's cool. And the lawyer was like, you don't have to worry. Like, we can give you more time with your kids where you have no communication. Nah, I don't want to see them kids. Like, he straight up told them, y'all better stop giving these men them babies. Especially over the next 4 years. Y'all better stop. Stop. Girl on TikTok right now with 3 kids talking about she didn't want her third child, but because this man was crying, she gave it. Stop.
That right there, dude, this part right here.
Worry, like, we can give you more time with your kids where you have no communication.
This just proves how men actually, they act like it's the baby mother's fault, right? Listen to what just happened. The lawyer goes, don't worry, you won't even have to communicate with that woman. You'll just have access to the kids. So explain that, because y'all be screaming up and down that it's the baby mamas that's difficult. The lawyer says, oh, you don't even have to worry about communicating with her. Don't even worry about that. We'll take care of that. And you'll get more time, and we can lower your payments. And ultimately, what does he say? Nah, I don't want them kids, because that's what it's about. It's not only about punishing the woman. It's so many things. It's not only about punishing the woman. It's not only about him, getting like from underneath paying child support, or the burden or whatever, the responsibility of paying child support. It's also that the other thing that's on top of that is he doesn't want to spend time with his kids. And not because he hates the kids. I mean, he don't give a fuck about the kids. Not because he hates the kids, but because it will cut into his personal time. That's what it's about. It cuts into his personal time, so he doesn't want to have anything to do with taking care of the kids more. He's doing the minimal amount. It sounds like whatever amount he's doing, it's to keep the child support lower. That's what it sounds like. He's like, ugh, like if they were like, you don't have to see your kids at all and pay the same amount of child support, he would go, bet. That's what I'm saying. Bet. But he's like, fuck, all right, I got to see these kids. And that's the thing. And here's what I'm saying. That is an unsafe situation for the children. That's an unsafe situation for the children. To be under the watch of a person who doesn't want you there is an unsafe situation for kids. I don't care who the parent is. Like, to that point, I don't want to see them kids like that. Like, no. Something bad is happening to those kids. At the very least, there is an extreme amount of neglect happening. And at the most, there might be some physical abuse or emotional abuse going on. Like, we are unstable. And once again, as a proof, that's the thing, that men don't want any responsibilities. At the end of the day, we want to be able to wreak as much havoc and get as much as we can. We are consumers. We are suckers. We are leeches, right? We want to be able to do all of that and have to give nothing back and have no consequences whatsoever.
And while the pro-lifers are eerily quiet, I want to say this. If you want to understand the difference between men's leisure time and women's leisure time when they have children, I want you to use this particular case, because while the father was at the gym, his children were dying. The mother was frantically driving to a hospital, which the nearest hospital from there is not close. She was driving to the nearest hospital to get her children help, and he was at the gym. Even though in the interview he mentioned that he could not get the kids because of all the work that he was doing, the work for the job that he was not at while his children were dying. But this is also reflective of what it looks like when women don't have the ability to choose. This is what they want to be as a shining example and a beacon for, hey, if you allow for these sexually immoral women to run loose without male leadership, this is what happens. She deals with the ridicule and shame of not being able to care for her children and having to watch them die while he's at the gym. This is literally the pro-life commercial.
Wow. That's exactly what it is. And that, like I just said before, the men don't want to have any responsibilities. This man is another example of that. He didn't want to have any responsibilities. So he kept his children at bay, kept the mother of his children at bay. He kept, putting it off. Oh no, I don't got enough time. Or what you need me to pick up? Oh man, you need me around. While whole time he's at the gym, he's living his best life. He got a new girlfriend. He's in a town 2-3 hours away. Probably not even claiming his kids. He gets to be completely free the whole time. The mama is in a fucking van struggling. And y'all want to turn around and blame women for this shit. How? Because she chose him? Because she chose him. That's the problem here. The problem isn't him neglecting his kids. The problem isn't him being a fucking liar and a manipulator. The problem is she chose him. You can't make this stuff up.
Talk about it.
Man, y'all can forget about the dating scene. The thing about it is, women right now, they don't give a fuck. Women getting their own money, so now women date who the fuck they want. They don't date who they need no more. So that's the shift change. That's why women attitudes are so different, because the roles done switch. She's not afraid of how you gonna feel about how she living or her lifestyle anymore. She don't give a fuck. You know why she don't give a fuck? Because when you get mad, you can't take her watch and jewelry back. When you get mad, you can't take her car back. When you get mad, you can't put her out the house. You know why? because she owned all that shit herself. She bought it her motherfucking self. So now her attitude is, I don't give a fuck. You feel me? They are so into their freedom and living and getting this money. They got their own bags. They don't need us to compliment them no more. All they got to do is put a picture on Instagram, social media. She got her attention. They don't care no more. See, it used to be about your book. They don't care no more. They got their own bag, man.
So wait, so was that why feminism got started? Because niggas was getting mad and taking stuff away that they never had about their women? Is that why my grandma told me to get a job and keep a job? Is that why she told me marriage is very much so an option, baby, and if I'm suffering, get the fuck out? Y'all was taking shit away from women when they were financially dependent on y'all. That's financial abuse, my boy. And y'all wonder why feminism is a thing, but he's very much so correct, baby. You got to come with more than your book, bag. Your book, boo. You got to come with more than your book, because I got a book too. Now what? I got to actually like you, nigga. You got to actually be compatible. You got to actually hold a conversation. You have to actually respect me. What?
And that's what men don't want. I don't know if that's the reason why feminism started. That was funny though. I was gonna say, y'all taking shit back? That's crazy. I wouldn't. That's crazy. Yeah, man, we different. I have never thought about taking anything back from a woman that I gave them. Once I give it to you, it is yours. Social media also social media isn't validation for women, just so you guys know. Right? It's not the same type of validation. Getting validated from your man is not the same as getting validated from a bunch of men, because women get validated from a bunch of men anytime they go outside. They can get that walking out the house. They get validated every day. They get hit on everywhere they go. That's easy. They don't need social media for. They get that in real IRL. Getting validated from your man, social media validation and outside validation or whatever. That is akin to masturbating. That's the way I look at it. Like, masturbating is cool, but it's not, it doesn't give you the same level of satisfaction as actually having sex with another person. You know what I'm saying? It's a placeholder. It's all right. It's all right. No doubt about it. It's all right, but it's definitely not like the end all be all. Like, you definitely need more. You definitely need more than fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely need more than, random strangers liking your pictures and being like, oh, you go, girl. Like, you need more than that. You need somebody that really knows you, that really values you, because that's where the real validation comes from. How they treat you, that's the validation. How that person shows up for you, that's the validation. But men don't know that. Men like him don't know that. They think validation is just somebody going from the rafters, damn, you got a gang ass. And that shit like, oh, thank you. Like, that's the shit that turn women on. Like, y'all don't know shit about women.
For most men, the first attempt at monogamy is marriage.
You're already setting yourself up for failure.
If you've been doing what you've been doing, and the first time you're gonna stop trying to not do that and try to put all of that energy now in one person, it's gonna be some problems. And we can put that on God.
I received that because I feel like, I'm 33, man. I feel like for our generation, we feel like maybe we can flip that switch. It's not that simple. Like, you have to practice this over time. Yeah. So when you do get married, you can be successful. You think you're going to flip that switch just because you don't cross that
Say that a little bit more. Say it a little bit. No. That's real spit, son. That's real. Like, you cannot say that loud enough.
And I feel like that's why you see so many young marriages fail out.
I don't want to put an age on limit on like when I do that, but I'm just trying to be as present as possible. Mm-hmm. You know, it may be next year, maybe.
No.
It may be. No. I don't know when it'll be.
No.
You know what I mean? No. But I'm just saying,
No. You're 28.
28.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, so I'm taking my time, man. And I'm just like, I enjoy coming home alone, and it's just like, I'm like, you hear that?
Yeah.
Silence.
Acting like men can't be faithful before the age of 35 is crazy. Kirk, please stick to dancing. Stick to dancing in the church with them tight pants on, brother. That was crazy. But no, I agree that with the first part of what Kirk was saying 100%. Oftentimes men wait to get married to grow up. You know what I'm saying? Me included. Oftentimes men wait to get married to grow up. You know what I'm saying? I 100% agree with that. That's not the time to grow up. Men need to start taking the time and doing the work before we get into these relationships with women, so that we don't have to make our women suffer and then get into the relationship. Why do women always have to suffer while men grow? When we talk about growing pains in a relationship, it's the woman that suffered the pain and it's the men that grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, men got to grow while the women are in pain. Like, nah, bro, that's crazy. That's a lot. That's a tall task to put on anybody when you could just do the work before you get into the relationship. You can unpack your unhealed trauma before you get into the relationship. You can learn to be intentional before you get into the relationship, before you talk to that woman. You know what I'm saying? But what men do is we get into the relationship and expect the woman to do the work for us. We expect her to guide us. We expect her to mold us and shape us while simultaneously allowing her to make us feel like we're leading her. Like it's very similar to when a man is broke and a woman is paying for dinner and she gives him the card and he gets the, he slips puts the card in the thing for appearances. You gotta do a lot of shit to coddle men and to make us feel comfortable. That's an example of that. That's what that looks like to me. That's what that sounds like to me. Like, men will be in a relationship with a woman that is giving him all the jewels and gems that he needs to grow. But simultaneously, he'll be fighting her every step of the way and also expecting her to make him feel like he's the leader in the relationship. And that shit just don't make no goddamn sense to me.
It's harder for women to find partners when they're on average more likely to be educated than men.
58% of college graduates in the most recent cohorts were women, with 1 woman on campus for every 2 men. And with this scenario where there's more women becoming college educated than men at increasing numbers, you're going to get a bit of a mismatch in terms of women looking for those men who are up and to the right economically, but there's fewer men there.
Yeah, it's a real problem. If we look at the rates of going to university, my birth cohort, I was born in 1963, is the first year where women attended college, university at equal rates to men in the United States. And those lines crossed and they've never gone back. And so now it's 60-40 basically, female to male. That means there's 3 women on campus for every 2 men. But setting just dating on campus aside, on average, women are looking for men who are as educated as themselves or more, and men are looking for women who are as educated themselves or less. And so we're creating a problem because women are getting really well educated, and then there's not as many educated men available for them to partner up with. And so what you end up with is lots more people living single. Now, remember, we talked about that before. Couples are less likely to get together. On the one hand, this is not necessarily a bad thing because women going to college, making a lot of money means they can afford to live as a single person, which they literally could not do up until 1960. Those days are gone. But it does mean that it's harder for women to find partners when they're on average more likely to be educated than men.
So why are men looking for less educated women is the question, right? Easy. Because men want a woman that they can control. Men want a woman that they can control. Educated women are nefariously difficult to control if you are uneducated, even if you are educated, but educated women are extremely difficult to control in so many ways because they make more money on average, and also they just are smarter than you and they understand things better than you and they can communicate better than you and they can talk circles around you. And he's talking about that disconnect, right? I've spoken about this many a times. Women are getting more and more educated. Men are checking out of education more and more, and men are not only checking out of being educated, we are becoming anti-intellectual more and more and more and more as a country, as a world, as a population. For humanity, men are becoming more and more anti-intellectual, and women are becoming more intellectual globally. That is causing for a huge divide, a ginormous divide. And I see it every day. I just got done on a live today, and we were talking to this man for like an hour and a half, and he was just so undereducated and so uneducated. And he's talking to these women who are like master's degrees, getting their PhDs, women that been, got her degree. You know what I mean? Like, and this dude is like probably barely graduated from high school. That's tough. Men want to be, though, they want to be as smart as those women, but then they want to date a man like the man. They want to date a woman like the man I'm describing so that they can manipulate her. And that's sick.